there are people that are very judgmental that may not be keen to work with you because you are queer. They miss what you are able to do. They miss the skills and the talent that you have. But just because you're queer, they will exclude you. Because you don't know, there are families that disown their children. There are families that kill their children. We've got people running from other African continents to come to South Africa because their parents wanted to kill them. People are aware and know that we've always existed, but now you want to put it as though it's un-African. And what do you mean when you say it's un-African? It's always been there, and that's why it has an African name in different languages, because it has always been there.
Hello and welcome to Life Lately, the podcast where we dive and explore real conversations on parenthood, marriages, and life in general. My name is Nozipho, and I'm so excited to go on this journey with you where I get to share my life experiences, my insights with amazing guests. So on this podcast, we laugh, we cry, we have authentic conversations, and we just ultimately grow together. If this is your community, please do hit the subscribe button. Today, I have the fabulous Tholo. I said it right.
Yes, you said it
Tholo
right.
Motaung. How do you go by? Sorry. She, he.
They, them.
They, okay.
Yeah.
My mistake. They are the host of The Real Queer Talk, and they are an MC and a radio host.
Yeah,
correct.
correct.
Okay. Nice to have you, and my apologies.
It's not a problem.
Thank you for schooling me.
No, you're welcome. I always encourage that because generally society doesn't know. Sometimes you find people, they can keep a distance because they don't know how to, and they're thinking, I might say it wrong or I might offend the person. But I love educating people because that's the way we get to have allies for us as well.
Okay, first of all, that wig is layered nice. You look fabulous.
Thank you.
The makeup is like, I need a lesson, okay?
Well, I was coming here, I needed to come proper. It's a way of respecting you.
You look proper.
Thank you.
Tell me about Tholo. Like,
Yeah.
how did we get here to this fabulous, confident person?
Oh my word, it's been a journey. I was born in a small town called Gestel. It's a small town just before you get to Qwaqwa.
Okay.
We're like 20 kilometers away from Qwaqwa.
Okay.
And that's where I basically grew up for my primary schooling, though, because when I went to high school, my parents took me to a boarding school. So I spent a lot of time at a boarding school, and they were very challenging at times that we went through, especially as a queer person, because now you have to live with other boys, but you're different in a sense that as feminine as I am, and you get called names, and you can imagine in the morning when you have to go take a bath, So I had 3 other friends. So what we will do is we will let other people go in, bath when they're done, then we'll go in. Or we'll wake up very early that we go bath first. So when they come, we are done, we're out of there, So it was those kind of dynamics that we had to deal with on daily basis.
So this is when you were how old?
I was in my high school years. So that is from grade 8 until grade 12.
So you knew that early. You knew.
I was able to put a name on it when I went to grade 8. So in my primary schooling, I was called names and all of that, but for me it was just like maybe I'm different. I'm just different, but I couldn't really say what it is that I was different about.
So kids were mean. I know how kids can be mean and call you names, but you are born a boy.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you're born a boy. Your parents are raising you as a boy.
As a boy, yeah.
And then you're just like, but I don't feel like a boy.
Yeah, and also like you say, my parents didn't really raise me as a boy. because my interest was to play with dolls. I would wear my mom's heels and wear a curtain, make a dress out of it. You know, I would, because my mom was a domestic worker, so
Okay.
sometimes she'll take me to work and I'll be playing with the madam's makeup, you know. It's like, hey,
This is cool.
you make me lose my work, stop it, you know, those kind of things. And I think she also knew very early that I'm different. And what I loved, it was that she always protected me. So I grew up in that kind of a family that was loving and protective of me. I would be lying if I could say my parents or they at some point they felt anyhow. I can't remember being made to feel in any way except to be loved and taken care of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you had siblings. You have siblings.
I
Sorry.
have siblings. I have an older brother. He's like 10 years older than me. We don't really have a close relationship, and I think it's because of the age gap. But as siblings, we're okay. You know,
It's just the two of you.
It's just the two of us.
Oh,
yeah.
my.
Yeah.
So wow. So your parents end up having the best of both, I guess.
Yeah.
That's
I
very
think so.
nice to have parents that are supportive. But I think it makes your journey also a lot easier.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
I don't want to lie. It's a blessing, and that's what brings the confidence to you as well. That you know you're coming from a loving family. So whatever is said in the streets, it doesn't really matter. You know, yes, it does hit you as a human being. Like, okay, I'm being called these names. I'm being excluded on certain things. But at the core, you know you are loved because you are loved at home.
Sure.
You know, yeah.
High school.
So-
Okay, so
yeah.
you're just like siyakhula with
Yeah,
growing
so
up.
got to high school, and at high school, I was an active child. I played netball, I played volleyball, I was dancing, I was part of the debating team. I played a lot, and I enjoyed doing that, you know. And it's only that you would have limitations in terms of gender, to say, okay, now it's boys, now it's girls, kind of a thing that
Oh,
happens.
so you went to a co-ed school.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. But it didn't affect me that much because in some way I would get spaces where I would participate, and I loved every moment of it. And I think to a certain extent as well, the school was inclusive in a sense that when you come to dance, they would not say, "No, Tholo, you're a boy, then you should dance as a boy," right? But they would allow me to dance the role that I feel comfortable with, and even the other students were a little bit more open, you know, and that made, you know, being there have, you know, that balance in that there were the bad side, but also there was the good side of it.
Yeah, it seems like you came from a really supportive background, and everybody around you was just like, okay, so this is who you are.
Yeah.
That helps a
Yeah,
lot. And
it
come
does.
matric dance,
It does.
how did you guys go? I would love to see those pictures.
Matric dance, one thing that to this day I still have a bit of pain about is me having to wear a hat because I could not do the hairstyle that I wanted to do.
Why
you know?
not?
I mean, because we were not supposed to grow hair.
Oh.
I was always in trouble when every time I came back from the holidays, I'll be in trouble because my hair was long. So as a boy, it had to be short, it had to be a cut in mid and
Yes,
all of
military
that.
vibes.
Me, I'll
yeah.
be relaxing it, and I would want it long and making stars and all of that, you know. So that is the only thing. But matric dance, my friend and I decided to go as partners because we both knew that we want guys besides us, but we can't have guys besides us, you know. So, but it was nice because we went as friends, and there were other friends as well. I think also for us it was that we will create, you know, moments for us to be okay and have fun, because we knew by then we understood how the world is. So it was more of, if we don't create a space that we can enjoy, nobody can create it for us. And I think also you learn that as you grow up to be resilient, because you know when you get out how the world can be to you. So you experience a lot of that. But when you come together as queer people, you sort of give each other that kind of support to an extent that now you want to create those spaces that you can have fun yourself, even though it's not created for you.
Okay, so I'm sorry to ask, queer and gay is how different?
Okay. So The word queer, it's actually inclusive
Okay.
of lesbian, gay, bisexual, queer, questioning, intersexual.
Okay.
So for me to sort of shorten the LGBTQI every time we speak, then I'll use
It's
queer.
queer, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are attracted to, you married, right?
Yes, I'm married.
Oh, fabulous. You married and then rewind.
Yeah.
High school. I'm very intrigued because I know
Yeah.
how mean children can be.
Yeah.
I changed school a lot in high school, and I know that finding a friend, making friends in high school is hard.
It is.
For you to be in that environment, you're like, okay, so I need to find my people.
Yeah.
How did you gravitate towards each other? How did you find your friend?
It was easy because it was us. We could see each
You
other.
could identify.
Right? So it's like it happens naturally because you see that we are different, right? So it's like, hi, I'm Simane, hi, I'm Tholo. Then we are friends.
You're
That's
like,
it.
this is my
This
person.
is my friends, you know. And now to an extent that we ended up sharing a room because we were the same. Because now when you share a room with other boys, it's still that thing of they're not comfortable with you because they don't know how to be with around you, and you're also not comfortable with them because you're not sure what they're thinking and all of that. You
And
know?
parents didn't complain.
No, we never got to a place where other kids' parents complained, and my mother sat me down to say, look, you're going to a different environment, and you must expect that the treatment might not be the same. So be ready and just be careful that you protect yourself and that you don't overstep and make other people feel uncomfortable. So and that helped because then I was conscious of around how do I behave, how do I treat other people, and all of that.
I often get a question a lot, because I've got 5 boys, and I've been asked a number of times, how would I react if one of my boys were to say, Mom, I'm gay, or... And I'm very open-minded, but their dad is just like, I'd literally murder somebody, and I'm just like, but why? So how was it like with your dad,
My dad, look, he didn't show any problem, though with him we've never really spoken about it. He had never made me feel any less in any way. It's only that we would not have conversations like I did with my mom. Like with my mom would really delve deep how I feel about things, what my experiences are, and she'll give me a bit of guidance. And sometimes now looking back, I'd say, but maybe she was not even know how to deal with this, But she made sure that I'm okay. But with my dad, I don't remember any incident of him being otherwise. I think it was one of my uncles who was a bit not okay, but also he was not really verbal about it, but you could see actions, how he would look at me, how he would behave when I'm around. But the interesting thing is when I got married, he totally changed. He was so supportive throughout the process, like everybody else in the family. And he totally changed to be this person that is so okay and happy for me. And that has surprised me because I didn't expect that, Yeah.
I think as a parent, because if he's your uncle, then he's also your parent, you're just happy when your child is happy. So I think that's all that matters. And when people ask me that, I always like, as long as my kid is happy, if they're not happy at home, where do I expect them to find their happiness from? So I'm always saying, dude, you're going to come to me, whether you have this problem with your sexuality or you feel like you want to explore or whatever it is. I'm very open-minded about those things. So those things don't faze me a lot, but I've always been interested to find out how parents, because we are we're in the 80s. I think we're in our 40s. We're fourth floor. So our parents are much older. They're not understanding like we are to our kids.
And it's interesting that you say that because I remember my grandmother, so my mother's mother, sat me down the other day and she said to me, we love you as you are, and we're not seeing this for the first time by you. And she was literally telling me of the people in the community that you see so and so, their cousin was like this. You see so and so, their brother was like this, their sister was like this. So this is not the first time that we're seeing this. And then it takes you back to say, people are aware and know that we've always existed, but now you want to put it as though it's un-African. And what do you mean when you say it's an African? It's always been there. And that's why it has an African name in different languages, because it has always been there.
Sure. But a lot of people in the past lived in the closet. They lived an unhappy,
true,
unauthentic life, not being who they are. Imagine leaving this earth and not exploring.
It's really sad. And now that's why you see cases where people get married.
Yes.
And I get married to a woman, but it's actually just to please my parents, just to please society. But now both of us are getting hurt because it either at some point comes out or the marriage doesn't work. So I feel that society needs to open up to the reality that queer people are there, they've always been there, will always be there. It shouldn't be that because you don't feel comfortable about something, then you want to dictate to say, no, it shouldn't happen. Because people are really hurt out there. There are many guys, there are many women that are in marriages that they don't want to, but they have to do it because they have to please society.
Yeah.
It's sad.
It's a reality.
It's sad.
You get married, Malume is happy.
Yeah.
How does it go? Do you guys lobola?
We did. We did it the traditional way.
Okay.
We did like everything, right? Because what actually happened is he proposed. It was a beautiful proposal. Booked the restaurant out, and it was a surprise. It was just beautiful, right? And then he before that though, I think he spoke to my cousin, because my cousin, when I told her, she seemed to be knowing what's happening, right? So the letter was sent, and as the letter was sent, I don't know if I was afraid to take the step or I was uncertain. But I think because, you've gone through relationships so much, you got hurt so much, and you're thinking, is this for real? Is it going to happen? So from his family, they sent the letter at home.
And his family is supportive.
His family loves me to bits. They love him to bits. It's just a beautiful family. It's just a beautiful family.
So blessed.
Yeah. So then they sent the letter, and then from my side, because both my mom and dad have passed on, so I'm basically with my uncles and my aunts. So they called, say, hey, come, we need to talk. So I'm like, they say, we've got a letter. So what do we do, right? So now I was like, no, there's normal way you do it, So I said, but we've never done this before. So now you're going to have to take us through everything, because we don't want to either overstep or disrespect you guys, or maybe hurt you in any other way. So she's like, no, it's okay, but think of it this way. He's the one who's asking, right? So if he's asking, it means he wants to marry me. So it's the same as when a girl is being asked. So you'll treat it that way. Though I know with other queer people, it's done differently. They'll say, for example, I'm a man, so we will not do it the traditional way.
Okay.
But with us, I am comfortable with it done that way because of the dynamic of our relationship, right? So then I stalled the process.
I can see it.
So it's like, okay,
why? You're not sure?
I wasn't sure. Look, I knew he loves me, but like I say, also, when you think maybe at some point he's going to have pressure from society, maybe he's not sure himself, maybe he wants to do it, but he's not ready for it. Those kind of things,
We don't know how to be loved right.
And also I think for me it was also maybe a way of protecting him, because he's straight looking. When he walks in, you won't say that he's gay. You wouldn't tell unless if he tells you. So I think it was more of, now he's going to be exposed in that way. I'm used to it. I go anywhere, they see me, they talk, I'm used to it. I can manage that. But I think for him, it was, how do I protect him? Is this going to be okay for him? Why can't we just, settle and but for him, it was also that I want to respect a family like that. And I also want to feel that we are in this, building life together. So I stalled it for almost 2 years.
Yeah. He was patient. He was patient.
Yeah, but now the second time around, he went behind my back,
Okay.
really.
I'm
Went to my
tired.
cousins, like, this needs to happen. So then my cousin spoke to the seniors of the family. Then it happened. Then we had the cultural thing happening. There's the celebrations and all of that. And everybody was there. The family was there. And I think what I loved the most was the fact that from both families, everybody was there, except few people that were not there, which, as much as we knew why they were not there, for us it was then a blessing to say, you'd rather not have a person coming than they're here and they're saying things or, giving a bad vibe. Because we need, a positive energy around that. Yeah.
And how long have you been married?
We've been married for 2 years now. We've been together for... This is the 7th year.
I can see you're still in honeymoon stage. You're just glowing, Jay. Honeymoon.
We love it there. It's working.
Wow, like your love story is really nice. It's really, really beautiful to hear that there are people that are still so believing of love and wanting to make it happen, no matter what society says, no matter what everybody thinks.
Yeah.
And now you have children.
Yes.
How did that come about?
So I think we've been blessed in the sense that he was in a relationship before.
Okay.
So that's where our daughter comes from, the relationship before. And we how also it happened that she ended up living with us. It was that when I met him, they didn't have a close relationship.
Okay.
Right? They had the differences and all of that. But then I encouraged him and was like, look, there's a child. You need to have a relationship with the child. She's like, I'm not sure about this. Things have been tough with this and all of that. So, but I encouraged him. Then we reached out to the mom. We started, going to visit. We started going to visit. And eventually she was comfortable enough to let her visit during the school holidays. Then she started visiting. And from then, we then built a close relationship with the mom, At the beginning, it was a bit rocky. I don't want to lie. She was... I think also, with your child, you can't just, so there was a bit of a rift happening and all of that. But I think for me, because I also understood that there's a child involved and it's not easy as a mother to just, give your child away like that. But I got to be patient, to an extent that sometimes we'll say, come with the child because she'll be coming from another province. So you're like, no, come. She'll stay maybe for a weekend and then leave the child. And because she has 2 other kids, then at some point we like, can you give her to us?
Okay.
So you take care of these 2, then we take care of her. And it took a bit of time for her to get to that point, understandably so as well, But she then said, one time we said, and she said to me, the reason I let this child to come, it's because every time she came to visit, when she comes back, she'll tell me good stories.
Yeah.
It's good things about you, how you take care of her, how you guys are always there for her and all of that. And that's how she came to be with us. Because when we met, she was 4 there. She was still young. So when she grew up with me being around. So she got used to me, in that way. So when she came to stay with us full time, it was easy because it was more of, it's an environment that I'm used to. There were adjustment in terms of now mom is away, I'm here, as much as she loves us and knows us, but there was that bit of, mommy this, mommy that. But we will video call and all of that and until she fully adjusted to be this side. So now she visits during school holidays, but she's full-time with us.
With you guys.
Yeah.
And how did you have the talk with her to say, listen, other children's dynamic at school looks different from yours?
Yeah. No, we had to. We had to because we knew that she's going to be challenged by a lot on that. So we had to prepare her ahead of time, right? To say, look, the world is not black and white. There's always gray areas, and you are in that case of a gray area. And we sat her down to explain how different we are, from other families, And that was actually very helpful because she got it, and it helped with confidence for her. It helped with confidence that there was a point when things were said to her, And one of the teachers called us. So when we went, just like, hey, I just wanted to make you aware. Other kids were bullying her with this, there were words that were said to her to say, how do you live with two fathers? Your fathers are gay. They're then they'll be naming these big personalities that are on TV that are known, But what she was impressed about was her response to say, yes, I've got two dads, and that's a blessing that I have, that I've got two fathers that are taking care of me, And it made me proud to say, she could stand her ground
That's
and
my
be able
baby.
to, you get what I mean? And she's got a bit of an attitude that she can give as well. So that was really pleasing. At the same time, it saddens you, and you feel concerned about her also, say, for how long will she be able to deal with this? How long will it take? And also me being out there than the father is, obviously there's a bit of a trace that they can, connect us. As much as I try to keep her away from, the public eye as much, just to protect her until she's old enough to be able to deal with whatever that can come beyond now.
I'm sure that would affect even the friends that she gets, because some parents are just going to be like, no.
Yeah.
Awuyila pakloamos.
Right.
Kudos atade.
You're quite right. You'll come back, you learn those things.
I'm sorry, but society is like that. It's prejudice like that, and it is what it is. We just have to be okay and tell them, you don't have to have a lot of friends. You don't have to, But I'm sensing that you guys are raising a very strong.
No, she is. She has a lot of friends. She has a lot of friends, and she likes making friends. And she'd come and be like, Daddy, I've got a friend. I'm like, how many do you have now? Like, do you have to have so many friends? Right.
So now you go by Daddy too.
Yeah. So she calls my husband Dad, and she calls me Daddy.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's how she differentiates us.
Oh my God.
Right. Yeah. So, but also I think because we always think ahead, because the first sleepover that she had, we said we want to meet the parents before it happens, right? And the reason for that, we wanted them to see. So when they allow their children to come, they're aware what kind of a home environment they're coming to. And so when we go for meetings at school, we go and introduce ourselves. Okay, who's your friend? Let's go and greet the parents. Hi, we Crystal's dads. And others will go to see like the reaction, But for us, it was, they know, right? So if
it's not on us,
it's on. They'll make that decision, and whatever decision they make, we'll respect it, And so that's what we did. But then there was the sleepovers, and we saw that they will come. We did have birthday parties. We'll invite them. They will come. I think it was one parent that you could see that she's a bit, not okay. But with others, you just see the surprise, that they didn't expect it, but they're okay, So yeah.
I know my son, when he was in prep school, one of the parents was just not, him and the friend loved each other, but the dad was just not okay with my son being friends with a black boy. So I can imagine how it's like when it's sexuality, how difficult it can be, because other races are not accepting, other cultures are not accepting. So it was difficult. I had to sit him down and say, listen, my boy, so and so's parents have a problem with your skin color. But those two loved each other. Eventually, the dad gave up.
It's sad.
It was just like, I can't separate these two, because they see each other at school. And I had to prepare him and say, because at the end of the day, we build the relationships. We help them. We help the sleepovers. We help the play dates. And if it's not happening and the kid wants it, it's very difficult to see your child go through heartbreak. So I'm so happy that your child gets to still have friendships and not feel like she's not able to have friends at school.
But with that one, it really, to a certain extent, affected her, because she couldn't understand, because the friend wanted to come, and they have that close relationship, and now the others are here and they don't have a problem. She couldn't understand what's going on, So also we had to sit her down to say, look, if we don't want to go to a certain house because we're uncomfortable with certain things, so it's not every family that will be okay with it, So also it said that now she has to sort of come to terms with such things at that
Early
age,
age,
you
yeah.
know, because for them it's we are friends, and
That's all we need.
This is
Yeah.
a safe home, this is a safe environment, you know. But yeah, you just accept it as
It is what it
you
is.
know. And it's like when you go, you at a restaurant and you see people start staring at you because they see the dynamic, right? It's me and my husband and the child. Now too, you see how they look at us, you know, say, you know, those stares.
And
You know,
work
that
functions.
happens, and work functions as well. You know, so because I'm more in the media space, I also don't go much with him because also I want to keep
Give him privacy.
privacy,
Yeah.
you know, but also for me, because I feel that home is my sacred space. So I want to go home and feel that I'm at home at a safe place. So if he's also exposed to, we're going to come back and there isn't that environment
Yeah.
where we escape the world and it's us and we get to refill or recharge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that in the media we see a lot of GBV and the LGBTQI.
Yeah.
There's an I, right?
Yeah, there is
Class.
an I. Yes.
I'm so
You
proud
get in
of
there.
myself.
You get in there. Yeah.
Community, and it's just it's very sad to watch. You know, have you ever experienced anything like that, or you know anybody that you know experienced?
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's
don't laugh. This is serious talk.
I have. Whew. I have, and it's not only me. Hey, it's rife, but we don't talk about it, right? It's rife. We don't talk about it, and there isn't enough stats as well because, as it's reported, you can imagine if my husband beats me up and I go to a police station, it's like, no, you're also a man. Go
I'm
back
shy
and do-
God
I'm
now.
shy
Yeah.
God, you know, that kind of that kind of thing. So yes, I did experience it before I met him. So this guy, he was really a wonderful person, but as time went, changes were there, right? And as changes were there, I could see that we're not going to go, you know. So I wanted to, you know, step out of the relationship because he was really abusive, verbally abusive. And it made me so uncomfortable because sometimes we'll fight about things that are unnecessary, really, you know. And also there'll be fights so there can be a distance and he can go and do stuff
Other
and
things.
come back and, you know. So the day when he realized that now this is it, like I'm leaving, then I got good claps and, you know,
Sure.
whatever. And yeah, it was, you know, when something, you know, it happens to other people, but you never expected that it would happen to you. It feels so unreal. And you're thinking, but this is the person who's supposed to be loving me. This is the person who's supposed to
Protecting
understand why I feel the way I feel, you know. Because also that day, one of the things that triggered was that he was concerned that I'm still having conversation with my exes.
Okay.
And he was. And it's like, but you are still doing it. And I thought you're okay. If you're not okay, I don't understand because you're still doing it. And I know myself. I know the kind of person that I am. And you've been with me for a while. You know the kind of person that I am. Why are you worried about this? You know? So then it couldn't make sense of it. And I was like, look, you see, these are one of the reasons that I will want out because we seem to not align with a lot of things, right?
There's no trust.
There's no trust, right? Yeah, I ended up with an I that had a problem, an ear that had a problem. But for me also that was a confirmation that I'm making a good decision to move on. And I move on. And then I realized that actually this is happening in a lot of queer relationships, where even for example, lesbian people, the ones that are butch will be more physical to the ones that are more feminine. So it happens, but we don't talk about it. Whether it's with our families, our friends, or us as queer people, we don't talk about it. And that's why last year I started a project where I brought awareness about, gender-based violence within the queer spaces, and we shot a short film about it.
Okay.
It's on YouTube, on the Real Queer Talk YouTube.
Okay.
So we did a short film. What was interesting is that even straight people are saying it's so relevant to them, because you see the pattern is the same, the behavior is the same, how things, and even the end, and we made the end a bit extreme, that the other partner dies, So
But is that extreme?
it is extreme in the sense that if a person stays longer, it can end there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't have to label it as extreme. It's a possibility. It's the reality of other people. Some people don't make it out.
Yeah,
it's the reality of how most of these GBV cases end. It's the reality of the society we live in.
That's true.
That's what we see daily on the news. It's the reality. It's not extreme. It's the reality of our life. It is so sad. It is so sad. At the end of the day, we are all people. We all just want to be loved. We all just want to be protected. We want to live in a society where we feel safe. But most of us are not there yet. We're not there yet.
And it's interesting because when we had the watch party of it, as it was playing, people broke down and cried.
No, I'm not gonna go watch.
I can't watch it myself.
I'm a crybaby.
Because I had to, after shooting, I had to watch it when we were editing. So they edited it and they called me, so we can check. And that was the last time, and it was also very difficult to watch. I haven't watched it because I tried to watch, and I think not even 3 minutes in it, I felt like I'm going back there, And also I think even shooting it, I got triggered so many times throughout because I think it also brought the reality that there are people who are going through this every day.
Right now.
Helpless. And I worked with such a good team that they will allow us to stop so I can be okay and we'll start shooting again, And it's not really long, but it tells a story, right? It tells a story. It's about 15 minutes long, but it tells a story. It speaks volumes. And what I appreciated was that the team that I worked with, I was the only queer person. It was straight people, but they understood the concept and they were supportive. Even the gentleman that I shot with as the partner,
he was straight.
He was straight.
Okay.
But he carried it so well, and he was such a professional that he'll check with me, are you okay? Should we stop? And throughout, and it's just something that needed to be done, because the reason I started the Real Queer Talk, I needed to create a platform that whether you're straight or not, you can go in it and learn about queer people and the dynamics in our lives. Because I feel like there are popular people that have been put as a template of how you should be a gay person, how you should be a lesbian person. Just because they're famous, people then think that as a gay person you must be like this, or you must behave like this, or you must make these decisions. And we are as different as any other straight person, and that's why it's important that when a person sees you, they should see you for who you are,
Tholo, I learned so much today. Before we close, I just want you to speak to a boy or a girl that's struggling with their identity, their sexuality, not knowing which direction to go, who might not be as fortunate as you are in having the support from home, that for you it was much easier to not come out, but it was identified much earlier on in your childhood that you were different. What do you say to a boy or a girl that can see that I am this way, but is scared?
I think, firstly, appreciate yourself for who you are. I always say I chose to accept myself for who I am. I did not choose to be gay. I was born gay. And I will not even get into an argument with somebody about that, because I know myself. I know my story, and I've gone through a lot of challenges in life. I've made bad decisions, and that was because I did not accept myself for who I am. And that's the first point, that you have to accept with yourself for who you are, because you're special in your own way, and it is not wrong to be gay. I have gone to altar calls to be prayed for. I have fasted to change. I have begged God. I was open to be taken anyway for this
Sure.
to go away because I wanted to fit in what the society
Society's
expected me to
norm,
be,
yeah.
you know. But with the love of my parents and my family supporting me, taking care of me, I got to a point of understanding that the world may want what they want, but you should know who you are and what you are. And also, people shouldn't rush into wanting to get out of the closet if you are out of the closet. Get out of the closet when you know you can firstly financially take care of yourself, because you don't know. There are families that disown their children.
Sure.
There are families that kill their children, that kill their children. We've got people running from other African continents to come to South Africa because their parents wanted to kill them
Sure.
just for being different, you know. So make sure that you can be able to take care of yourself before you do that. And never live for anybody else but yourself. Never allow people to dictate who you are. Other people are professionals, they go into corporate spaces. Present yourself as it is expected, if it means for you to be there for a while, until you can establish yourself enough to be able to be comfortable in whatever that you want to be in. Because there are other spaces where you'll be judged for who you are, and they call it a career limiting move, you know, to say, how dare you come in heels, in a suit,
Yeah.
with hair, in a banking environment.
Yeah.
Who are you? You're a man, you should look this way, you know. So there are organizations that are not inclusive. So when it comes to work, please make sure that you take care of yourself and that you don't expose yourself to things that can limit you in that way, right? And in public spaces, when you do business and all of that, also take care of yourself in the sense that see who you get involved with in business-wise. There are people that are very judgmental that may not be keen to work with you because you are queer. They miss what you are able to do. They miss the skills and the talent that you have. But just because you're queer, they will exclude you, you know. So rather, you can stay there, establish yourself. Once you know you're well established, blossom to be who you are. I've seen that with me. I allowed myself to be where people expect me to be, but I knew who I am and where I want to be. And I have blossomed to be where I am today because now I'm at a space where I've established myself very well. Yeah.
Acceptance.
Yeah,
Acceptance was the key.
very much so.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate
It's a pleasure.
you guys for coming.
It's a pleasure.
I enjoyed our talk
I'm
so
glad you
much,
did.
and it was very, very informative. I hope people at home were also able to learn a thing or two today, and just in general to learn to be kind, to learn to love one another. That's all that it takes for us to live in a society where we can all just be and be happy. Thank you for watching. Please comment in the comment section down below.